All right. Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today at RIT Podcast. This is Isaiah Diesel, joined with my partner in crime, as always, Earl Grey. How you doing today, boss?
Not bad, mate. Not bad. Same as.
We actually have kind of a special guest who I think we need to start having more often because of the fact that you've actually dressed up today and you're never dressed up. So what's up with all the fancy clothes, man?
Oh, I'm always performing. I perform all night. So I literally got home a couple hours ago.
Oh,
literally,
really?
literally got a few hours of sleep, and this I still ain't have time to wipe it off, so I'm still in it.
Wow. And would you mind introducing yourself real quick?
I'm Santana Jackson, the moonwalking, elbow dropping, DDT giving pop king of wrestling.
Moonwalk DDT. But I was asking Earl, so what's the are you like starstruck now because you're dressed up and what's the occasion?
Mate, the royalty is here now. Okay, Michael Jackson for me. As you know, I participated in um, a lot of competitions as a young man, and I was literally unbeatable for many years. And I impersonated Michael Jackson, maybe not quite as well as Santana does right here, but it was enough to get the win every time.
Wow. So okay, I actually got a funny story for both you guys before we get started. Back in the day, I used to have hair. The scalp used to support
No way, really?
yeah.
No way.
And
Unbelievable.
yeah, so when Bad was out, I got my hair jerry curled. I had the Bad jacket, and I literally asked my mom to legally change my name to Michael. And I'm telling you, I had people at school calling me Michael, and she told me, she said, I don't know if she thought I was serious or whatever, but she says, I'll tell you what, I will change your name to Michael if you go by it for 1 year. So I probably lost interest, as kids do. But that being said,
That's good parenting. Good parenting.
we actually have a lot of questions to ask you, but we do want to start off with something kind of funny, which we call a friendly fire. So we're just going to ask you some random, maybe bizarre questions, maybe serious, maybe just probing. And so you ready?
Yeah, sure.
All right. All right. Here we go. All right. So if you had to own any giant feline animal, which one would it be?
You said giant. What
Feline,
kind of
feline,
animal?
like lion, tiger, cheetah, panda,
I guess it
puma,
would be I think panther.
panther.
Black
I'd go
panther.
jaguar, but okay. Gray.
I'd go tiger, man, every time.
You got a question?
Okay, next question. What's your favorite Michael Jackson song?
Growing up, Billie Jean has always been my favorite Michael Jackson song. I've always used to dance to that in school for like show and tell. I go in there with a fedora, a black jacket, and start doing Billie Jean and dancing. I mean, since I was 6 years old. So, so yeah,
Wow.
Billie
I
Jean
gotta
would be
say, I'm probably a little bit biased towards Man in the Mirror because that song's made a really strong impact on me as far as my humanitarian work. And I talk about that sometimes, Gray, about starting first with Isaiah Perez. He's the one who needs the most work. But okay, here we go. Next one. If you got stuck on an island, which action star would you trust most to get you off of that island, on a deserted island?
The Rock.
The Rock. Good call. Can't go wrong there.
You're welcome.
You smell what he's cooking. I am already dropping an elbow in dedication to The Rock. So I mean,
There you
The
go.
Rock would definitely-
Gray?
He got a good singing voice as well, that Rock. I'll tell you. He got a good singing voice as well.
Yeah, everyone has some surprise talents. You never know.
Mm-hmm. So here we go. Last one. Favorite 80s, or I'll even throw in 90s sitcom.
And I couldn't even think of anything right now. Sitcom. I
He's a
watch
music guy, man.
I listen to music and watch cartoons as a kid. So
The Jetsons. You like the Jetsons, maybe? All right.
Jetsons, absolutely. The Flintstones, the Jetsons.
There you go. The
Darkwing
Jeffersons.
Duck.
I like the Jeffersons.
Darkwing Duck was one of my favorite shows.
All right.
Man,
All right.
now you got me thinking.
All right. So we want to get started here. We want to first off, I want to get started with how I even heard about you. My brother. Oh God, this is so funny. But okay, let me preface this by saying, growing up, Michael Jackson was the coolest thing, and I'm not even going to say person. He was the coolest thing on planet Earth. Okay, it is hard to even actually say like how much of an impact he had on me growing up. When I was a kid, we used to throw sand on in the playground, and we used to try to moonwalk on the sand. I mean, it was like the coolest thing. You know, some guys would get like 3 steps, and we were like, oh, like in awe and wonder. And then I went to Disneyland. I'm from California, and I went to Disneyland, and so they had Captain Nemo. Is that Nemo?
EO.
Emo? What is it? Captain Nemo?
EO. Captain EO.
EO. Okay, I totally
I
butchered
know
that.
it was Captain Nemo. I know it was Finding Nemo. I know it was
Finding Nemo.
Captain
Okay,
Nemo.
okay. I'm sorry. I'm gonna edit that
Captain
part
Nemo.
out.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
watch it and put that out there now. That's gonna
I
be
know.
my
I'm gonna
movie
edit that one.
one.
But so my brother posted a video of some of your highlights, and he wrote on there. He wrote at the bottom in Facebook. He says, "I knew it. I knew he was still alive." Because you really pull it off, man. I mean, you really look like it. You got the dance moves, and you've incorporated it into wrestling. So we want to just before we get into these questions, we want to just you can give us like a 5 minute quick biography about yourself, like where you're from, where you grew up, family, et cetera, et cetera. And then we'll get into these questions we got for you.
Okay. I'm originally Puerto Rican from Brooklyn, New York. Uh, I lived in New York for a while. Went to Florida. Lived in Florida for a bit, doing a lot of charity events, hospitals, performing on the beach, Clearwater Beach. Uh, had a friend saw my talent, said they would help me get to Vegas. I came
Wow.
out to Vegas for a year. I was homeless, just worked on a strip off the tips and donation because I just wanted to try it. Um, doing again charity events, hospitals. I got entertainer of the year, volunteer of the year, performer of the year uh, from Win-Win Entertainment, which is a nonprofit organization. So I did a lot of stuff with them, and from there on, just kind of kept going and get more recognition. Got hired by MJ Live at the Stratosphere, so I'm the one of the Michael Jacksons for the show there. I'm a headliner now, and then I
Wow.
got MJ Live. I was able to afford to wrestle, so then I started paying for wrestling classes. And next thing you know, they knew I was Michael Jackson. They're like, "Hey, you want to wrestle as Michael Jackson one day?" I'm like, I didn't want to make Michael look bad, but I like, sure, let's do it. I'll make somebody beat it. So I jumped in.
Video.
Next
Oh
thing you
my
know,
God. What I gotta say, I saw a picture of you like it's either at the gym or maybe you're at a store and you were just like in regular clothes. Like I'm like, wow, you're actually in really good shape.
I try. I work out. I used to be big when I was growing up, so I used to be picked on all the time.
Wow.
And now I lost a lot of the weight, riding bike, exercising.
Mm.
Really, just a lot of bike riding because anyway, if I wanted to get somewhere, I got there on bike. Sometimes there'd be like hour, 2 hour
Wow.
ride. There I am on bike.
So let me ask you real quick: are your parents actually from Puerto Rico?
They both are, but we lived in New York. I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
And actually, two of my aunts are actually Puerto Rican. So that's a little special thing. We have a little connection we have there. But okay, and so how long has it been now since you've been? By the way, that's amazing. That's amazing grit that you'd have to endure that. But how long have you been there now? Totally.
I'm going on about 10 years.
Two?
About 10.
10. Wow.
About 10 years in Vegas. 5 years with the MJ Live show.
And how many years wrestling?
Same amount. The same time I got hired by MJ Live, at the same time I was able to take wrestling classes. So
It's about 5 years.
5 years. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you said that you discovered your talents pretty young. You said 6, right?
Yeah.
Can you remember the time that you first heard Michael Jackson sing and the first time you were inspired by it?
I was younger, so I really couldn't understand some of the words and stuff what he was saying. But what caught me was his music and how it made me feel. So some of the music will play just like Billie Jean. Bum, 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 bum.
It's
So
funny
I don't know.
you keep mentioning Billie Jean, and for me, um, it wasn't just the song Billie Jean. It was the video, man, when he was
Hmm.
walking
Hmm.
through that street
Lighting up
and
the
the floor
tacos and
lighting up, and it was just in its time, I guess. I mean, I was a bit younger when I saw it.
Yeah.
It must have been unbelievable.
it was like magic. Michael loved
Yeah.
magic, so Michael liked to have an illusion behind everything he was doing. So just
Yeah.
like if he was,
I'm sorry.
no, go right ahead.
No, I'm sorry. Please finish. You're the guest
No,
here. We want to hear what you
I
have.
was just saying, that just like in This Is It, he would have had a lot of. If he could have continued it, he would
Yeah.
have had a lot of magical stuff in that whole show.
I definitely got to say this. Um, Anybody, if you know anything about people who are creative, they're it's like a trade-off that they have between this extremely creative side, but then also maybe a darker part of their soul that they're able to express either through music or art, or like take someone like Picasso, um, maybe considered, Picasso or Van Gogh, considered some of the greatest, painters of all time, but they had some pretty deep-seated stuff. People would call them really weird, and I think Michael Jackson, and I would be willing to bet money on this. Like, I do not think the world will ever see someone as talented and maybe as
Influential.
weird, and as weird too. Honestly, if I'm being honest, it's like this extreme polarity between the most outrageous talent out there, just so much creativity, just totally revolutionized music, and I said he's probably got to be the number one act, but obviously there were some demons in there that he never was able to deal with, and ultimately wound up taking his life. So it's a sad story, it's an extremely sad story. But I do want to get into a couple of these questions that we have for you, and you ready?
Go for it.
Let's get in these. All right. So why Michael Jackson? Why? Why? That's the first question. Why?
I love his attitude. I love how he lived life happy and made other people happy and was trying to make everything better. I kind of live my life the same way. At the charities, hospitals, I'm always trying to make someone feel better, help anybody out, go out my way to make sure they're
Ooh,
happier.
you put chills in
I
me.
do a lot of the same things, I like to spread the same word that he kind of did, treat each other how you want to be treated, kind to one another. There's really no reason to hate on nobody when you walk somebody down the street. You gotta look at somebody, give them attitude. You can say hi, like
Mhm.
talk to somebody. You don't have to like. Some people just have attitude. Some people just, I try to bring it out of them. So I'm walking down the street, I see them, I go, hee hee, and like, oh, they start laughing and they're having a good time. Guess what I did? I
Oh
changed their
wow.
attitude. I changed the way you thought when you was walking by. Well, I like to do the same thing. He basically
All right.
do the same thing, spread the same message Michael was doing.
Great.
Great. I see that you were drinking some Coca-Cola just there. Am I right? Is that Coca-Cola? Can we see the Coca-Cola?
I can't show because they don't pay me
Okay.
for it.
I got a question. I got a question about the Coca-Cola. Are you afraid to drink Pepsi? I mean, are you afraid that you're going to get your hair burned, or
Oh god,
is
that's
it
so bad.
preferable choice?
No, I'm not worried about none of that. They're not gonna burn my hair. No, bro, right back. I got,
Hey,
I
I
got,
think
I got flame proof hair. Being Latino, I'm already hot.
I do think that when he did the spin after his hair ignited, I think the spin kind of made it worse, didn't it? It kind of took off as soon as he did the spin in the advert.
That was too much Jerry
Um,
curl. They had too much Jerry curl
Mhm.
juice in there.
Mhm.
yeah, sure. So, I've got a question. I got a question. How do your opponents feel about being taken out by a skinny dude with a high pitched voice?
Hey, I'm not that skinny. I've gotten a little bigger now.
All right.
I've been working out. I go to the gym to put in my work.
Hey, you can't put too much on though. You won't look like Michael Jackson. Hey, be careful.
No, I'll still be looking like Michael Jackson. I'll just be Michael's Jack son.
Jackson.
Like it.
All right. Here we go. So By the way, this is
I got Ray Mysterio, giving me an interview over here. Not just messing with you.
that's good, good. So, um, do you ever do just like the random, like sometimes you'll see like Elvis out on the strip. By the way, I went to Vegas for my honeymoon. My wife's Korean. I live in South Korea, and we flew into
Okay.
America. And we actually went on a cruise to Mexico, and then afterwards we went to Vegas. But anyway, so we had some pictures with Elvis and Madonna. But do you ever do that? Do you ever just go out and take pictures of people?
That's why I started. I started in the street. Like I said,
Right.
I was performing in the strip for years. I still do it. I still go out there, right? If I'm not doing anything else, if I'm not working the show,
And
I catch
what's
my
like, what would you say the average tip is that someone gives you? Like a couple bucks, $2, $3?
um. It depending on what they want to, me. I don't typically stand there and take pictures. I come out there with a speaker. I'm doing a show. I put on a show.
Oh,
I
you
want to
put on.
dance.
Oh, okay, okay.
I want to bring out jackets and dancing, and so I draw a nice big crowd, and I tell
Oh,
them pretty
I
well for
see,
some
I
reason.
see. But let's
It's really
just real.
I don't act like them. They just kind of give me whatever they feel.
And what's the biggest tip you ever got for someone taking a picture with them?
I mean, the other night I got $100 bill from somebody, a $50,
Wow.
a couple 20s. I mean, one night I made
Bad.
480 bucks in 2 hours. So
Oh my God. Wow, it pays to BMJ. All right. So here's another one. Why would you transition? By the way, I would say why you transition to wrestling, but I do got to say this. This is so embarrassing, but I'm still a wrestling fan. I still love it, man. I told
I love
myself
wrestling.
when I was like, when I turned 18 years old, I'm like, okay, I should probably stop watching wrestling now. I'm 18 years old. Then I was like, got to 20. I'm like, all right, I'll give myself another decade. I get to 30. Now I'm turning 40, and I'm like, I'm not even going to kid myself anymore. I'm going to keep watching wrestling to the day I die. I love it.
Right, you're a
I
fan. You're a fan.
I
Be a
love it.
fan.
Actually, I
Don't
love to really
disappoint.
love the old school stuff with like Tatanka and Big Boss Man, those
Oh yeah.
Undertaker, Ultimate Warrior. But just real
Mhm.
quick, one, your top three wrestlers of all time, and then we'll answer the question: what, how did you, how or why did you get into wrestling?
So my top three.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I loved Eddie Guerrero. I love the way
All
Eddie.
right,
I love his charisma in the ring. I love the way he sold things. The Rock.
The Rock, can't go
You
wrong.
know, I got the eyebrow. I'm like I'm the Rock
Mm.
fan. I'm like I even do an elbow dedicated to him. And like my last, I think would be like the Undertaker because everyone has that little dark side. So I always like that. That fear Undertaker brought into people, and his entrance was amazing.
I cannot even tell you the fear that that dude struck into me as a kid. I mean, that I was so convinced that that urn had like magical powers to it. So
You were activated. You were stuck. You wanted to see
yeah,
what.
yeah, it really made my. I mean, growing up, so I'm Mexican myself.
Okay.
So growing up, we were very poor, and um, wrestling. I think it's one of the reasons why I have such a strong attachment to it because it was one of those things that like we could just watch it and just get totally immersed in it. And I just remember when the guys could climb up on the top rope, I would just be sitting there like in anticipation, like, and then they
Just
come
waiting for them.
down. I mean, oh God, it's very exciting. But anyway, so what? Why the transition?
Um, I wanted to wrestle all my life since I was a kid, and I wanted to. And I was always already dancing to Michael's music. Um, just Michael came first. I started dancing to Michael, and then eventually, I still watch wrestling religiously.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, as soon as I got the opportunity to wrestle, I never thought I could look like Michael. Shoot, I never thought I could do this. I never thought I'd be able to train and be a wrestler. I was like, really? I like, these opportunities that are given to people that actually have money. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't one of the people that had money growing up, so um, it was definitely I kind of like I don't know what to say. It was just kind of different. I appreciate the opportunity I got to be wrestling now and doing all the stuff I'm doing with it. I wouldn't change any other way. I think I would go down the same route and do the same thing. Just wind up where I'm at.
Great.
Yeah, I've just I said earlier about the poster behind it. It's bringing back so many memories because I used to get my daily routine. I'd come home and I had some VHS tapes of Michael Jackson. When I had access to the front room, they'd be in the video player, and I'd be watching those. And I got that poster, that bad poster behind you. I got for my birthday, and it was nearly as big as my bed. This thing, and I literally put it at the end of my bed above my keyboard, and I worshipped it. If anyone went near the poster and
Oh
maybe
my
sort of brushed
god.
it, oh, careful! This
Oh
is
god.
my centerpiece. Don't be very careful with this, because I do think that he was. I mean, do you have a costume that he wore in that bad? I mean, that's the coolest Michael Jackson
Oh, I'm wearing his bad
photograph.
jacket
Oh,
right now as we speak.
hey, hey. The amount of times I sketched that and tried to draw that, it was, all the lines were so difficult, you know. Anyway, back to the question. Sorry, I'm digressing here.
Yeah.
Um,
Hey, by the way, yeah, Santana, this guy never dresses up and he's never this enthusiastic. So, like, yeah, you've done it for him.
Diesel's not wrong. Diesel's not wrong. So getting prepared. You looking great today, by the way. Obviously, how long does this take?
Ooh, that's $1 million question.
It used to take anywhere from 2 hours.
Wow.
When we're talking about makeup, hair, costume, that's about 2 hours. But if I'm trying to do it fast, I have a show to do right away. I try to get it done within 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
Wow.
Like
It's true. Looking good, mate. How many hats? How many hats do you have?
I've had 50.
Wow.
You know, I'm down to 2 because sometimes I tend to give away some stuff to kids or something like that. Kid come up to me and is like, "Oh, I love your hat," and I'm like,
There. Oh, wow.
"See you later." And then I got a glove, and depending on what glove I'm wearing, I'll give out that glove. You know, I've been through a lot of gloves too. I used to throw them in the audience, give them to people, and
Great, man. Great.
You know
Great,
what?
Diesel.
Yeah, I didn't realize we would go down this route, but I really do want to go down this one because this one's not in the questions that I sent you. But can you tell me a little bit about the volunteer work? And I am under the impression that that the people who are in the hospitals, like one of the best things that can be done for them, like it's just try to get cheered up, whether it's just an animal, if it's a flower, or some kind of plant or something like that, something where you can get them laughing. I believe Robin Williams was in a movie about that. You know what movie I'm talking about? I'll have to look it up right now. But he's like a doctor or something, and he tries to use comedy. And
yeah.
can you tell me a little bit about that and about how the kids respond to your to your character?
See, with me, I go to hospitals, and some of the kids a lot can see me dance, and they love it. They light up when they see Michael. But at first, they kind of like, "What's this?" But then when I start dancing and entertaining, they're like, "Oh man, this guy's amazing!" And a lot of kids can't actually see me dance, so I learned a new trick. When I go in there, I do magic. I go as Michael and I start doing magic.
Wow.
So I literally picked up a whole bunch of magic stuff, learned different magic tricks. As a matter of fact, I'll show you a book I have right now. Hold on.
All right. And you can show us a magic trick.
Yeah. So when I go to the hospitals, I see the kids there, and like I said, they can't always get out of bed to see my feet. They can't see me move, so I bring a book. So here's like this coloring book that I bring for them. I show them.
Oh wow.
And there's a cool little coloring book. So how the book works is they believe in magic, right?
Uh-huh.
Everything in this book will get colored. So if they believe it, I won't do nothing but reopen the book. So with them believing magic, when I reopen it, it should have color.
Wow.
But if they
That's
didn't
great.
believe it, if they don't believe in magic, and yet they just feel like
Mhm.
everything's blank, well then everything is blank.
Whoa. Whoa.
Oh wow, wow.
So yeah, so I do stuff like that with magic coin tricks. little fire stuff, make things vanish, reappear,
That's
take a
awesome.
pen, and I would take a pen and toss it, and silly stuff.
And wow, real quick, do you have a partner?
As in
Significant other?
Batman and Robin.
You have a significant other?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You don't have to go into details. And
Early days, is it? Early
well,
days.
who was it? Presley. What was her name? The Presley. Hey, yeah. What was her name?
Marie Presley.
Okay, Marie Presley. And by the way, Earl is from the UK, so I believe you also met Princess Diana, right?
Who?
Yeah.
Princess Diana. That's
Really?
right?
Did you?
Yeah, and then
I talking about me, like I met her. I was like, I didn't meet her.
the
Michael met her, but
character.
yes, I got you. I didn't know. I
Yeah.
got you. I was like,
But
I thought you said I thought you said he met her. I was like, he met her. I'm
yeah,
like, oh, okay.
but
Diana?
but Gray though. But then Michael turned around and he dissed her because he wrote a song called "Dirty Diana."
That wasn't even a diss.
That was a
towards
joke.
her.
That was a total joke. That's a total joke. That's
She
my
loved
attempted humor.
that
Okay.
song. She loved that, right?
Yeah. That's total.
Santana, what was
She
the
asked
message
Michael-
behind it?
She was asking Michael to play that song for her at the concert. He took it out
Yeah, it's a total
of the
joke.
concert out of respect for her because he thought it was like rude, but she wanted her to she asked him, "Are you gonna do Dirty Diana tonight?" And he's like, "I didn't. I took it out because of you.
Bless him.
I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sorry."
So Santana, you go by Santana Jackson, and I think your YouTube is Moonwalk DDT.
Santana Jackson's everything.
Okay.
My YouTube,
YouTube.
my Twitter is the SJ Moonwalk DDT.
Okay. I gotta say, you've come up with some ingenious ways to incorporate his dance moves into your attacks, your offensive. For example, you do the famous one where he does like you got to see it, man. We'll put up a few clips on here, but when you're like, you get up on the rope, because actually, I remember the Undertaker always used to do that to people, right? He'd get him by the arm and come up on the ropes. And so you're like, oh, I take both of these and combine them, right? That's pretty ingenious. And then another one is where you do
that's called the beat it rope walk.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's from Beat It, right? Okay. All right. Right. Beat It. And then also another pretty ingenious one is the spin attack. Okay, elbow drop with the spin. And then maybe my personal favorite one is whenever you get your opponent down, and then I don't know, what is it called whenever you do like a forward moonwalk? Like, what's that called?
I'm dancing. I'm just dancing.
You're just dancing.
I'm pulling myself forward as I go across his body. That's basically my homage to The Rock. You know how you get about like, hey, keep your heads in, and normally he'll just hit the rope. With me, I dance to the middle of their body, and then I'll hit the rope, hit both sides. Do a big micro spin. Sometimes I'll do a quick thriller move. Throw the because this is Thriller. Jump up, elbow, bam.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, this is that actually Sin Cara, the actual Sin Cara, or is that like a phony?
That's actually Sin Cara.
Sin Cara. That guy's, dude, the Lucha Dragons and Los Matadores, those guys were bad, man. They had some, oh my God. Earl, if you don't know who I'm talking about, man, Los Matadores, and they have like it's a totally different style of wrestling.
Yeah.
It's called like lucha, which is it's more high flying, more action. Actually got to see some of that in Japan. By the way, this is, I live in South Korea. You're gonna get so jealous when I tell you about this. But there is a restaurant in Japan, because apparently every person who is anybody in the wrestling field has gone to Japan to do wrestling. Okay, are you familiar with it?
Oh yeah.
I had no idea, but I went there with. Do you know Don Fry, MMA fighter?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay, so he did wrestling in Japan, but I hooked up with him in Japan, and he took me to the steakhouse, And there's literally pictures with any person you can think of, Stone Cold, Rock, I mean, Undertaker, everybody who's anybody in the last like 30 or 40 years, they actually have to take these pictures down off the wall because there's so many of them. So, okay, this is interesting. Why do you think there's so many fans who love wrestling who, and I don't like to use the word fake. I do not like to use the word fake because to me, it's a lot realer. It's a lot it's more real than the stuff you see on like TV or whatever. You know, the stuff you see on TV, they're using stunt doubles and effects and all kinds of stuff. You know, why I'm so impressed by wrestling is because you got to go out there and you got to put your body out and you have to time, you have to coordinate. So for me, it's like it takes so much more skill to be able to pull that off than just to go and like as an MMA fighter and punch someone in the face. You know, to me that is like a true level of skill. But why do you think so many people, I said even adults to my age, like are drawn to that? What's your thoughts on
I
that?
mean, wrestling's evolved a lot since back in the day, so it evolves with the time. Like they learn more how to involve the fans more, how to get you more and captivated, get you stuck.
Hmm.
Watch. I mean, now we got new competitions out there, AEW with the WWE, Impact. You got ROH. You got so many great companies to watch now. Wrestling's definitely evolved a lot more. Um, I think what it is just like it's like watching stuntmen just
Hmm.
just doing these amazing things. It's like watching an action movie the whole time,
Hmm.
nonstop type of act. Um, but that's what caught me with all the action, all the meat against meat, monster against monster, beast. You know, these big guys, small guys doing big things. Rey Mysterio for one of them. I mean, it's hard to explain. I mean, it's entertainment, really. Really
Yeah.
catches me.
Well, you know what? In This Is It, the movie, Michael Jackson referred to his music as escapism, which is like you're just trying to escape out of the moment. Some people go to drugs, some people go to Netflix. Um, for me, it's like it's funny. It's like I get to pretend for the time that I'm watching it that these things are totally real.
Yeah.
These storylines where people are hooking up with each other or they're kidnapping people. I mean, it's I have the time of my life when I'm watching wrestling. So yeah, thank you so much for your contributions to that. Gray?
So for your "This Is
Oh,
It" deal, I know you just said "This Is It."
yeah.
So I had met a guy on the
Uh-huh.
MJ Live,
Uh-huh.
and he had went to an auction where he
Hmm.
purchased Michael Jackson's shirt from "This Is It." This
No
is like
way.
the third shirt, number like the shirt three. So it's from night three. So Michael has a couple of replicas of the shirt, and this guy's had it for a couple of years when he purchased it. After Michael passed away from This Is It, one of the security guards took it and sold it on a private auction.
No
Which
way.
this guy got it, and he gave it to me after meeting me and learning about my backstory. And I started in the strip, worked my way up with charities, hospitals, and eventually getting to where I'm at today. And I'm still trying to eventually get up there more, keep
Hmm.
pushing. But I want to show you guys a shirt that I
All
actually
right,
have.
please.
That's Michael's.
Wow, you're
No
joking.
way. No way.
You are joking. This the wow.
This is the third last shirt Michael wore.
Wow.
Can you bring it over a little bit? I can't.
No worries, I gotta pull it out the bag here.
Oh, look at this.
It's protected right now.
Yeah, right.
This podcast is actually primarily focused on like religious and some like political, some social stuff. And so one thing we talk a little bit about is like spirituality. And we're wondering if you could tell us if you have any particular spiritual beliefs or if you've had some experiences in your life. You don't have to go into too much detail, but however much you'd like to talk about.
um I think the only thing I ever had that was spiritual to me that I believe was the dream of my son. Um, I had a dream of my son before he was born. I
Wow.
had a picture of what he looked like in my head and his full name. The name that came to me in the dream was Nathaniel. It's the name that kept repeating to myself until I actually had my son when he was born.
Hmm.
And I saw faith. I mean, I knew I was having him before his mom knew she was pregnant, and I told her that she was gonna have a boy, and I told her exactly what was happening in my head, that I already saw this as a vision or something told me I'm being gifted with something.
That's
And
amazing.
Nathaniel was a name I heard of, and I finally looked up what Nathaniel means, and I guess it means gift of God.
Whoa, gosh.
So after that,
You spit chills on me.
I mean, I think that's the only spiritual thing that really turned me
Oh,
on.
God.
Father, so, and I've always wanted to be a dad.
And
Do good by them, you know. So
yeah, and how old's your son?
my son's 14.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay. So he's old. And was your pops around growing up?
My dad was a little bit. They were separated. My mom, so I'll see my dad here and there,
Mm-hmm.
type of stuff. My dad spoke a lot of Spanish, so I didn't really understand Spanish that well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't speak it that well, being because I was born in Brooklyn and
Mm-hmm.
I learned English, so I had to learn to understand what he's saying to
Yeah.
me. They talk to me in Spanish all the time, and I didn't know what he wanted or what
Uh-huh.
he's saying. So
Wow.
our communication was really hard. Now
Wow.
he speaks really good English, so now we talk all the time. It's better for me to communicate with him. Sometimes he tries to throw a little Spanish words in there, but I
Uh,
learned a lot more, so I know what he's saying to me now.
you know what? My dad actually, his mom was living in Mexico, and she crossed the border to have him. She's thinking ahead. So he'd be an American citizen, and then she came back down to Mexico, and he got to America when he was like 5 or 6 years old. So obviously spoke like no English, so he
Yeah,
had to learn. And like literally for him growing up, this is California 70 years ago, so it's not like today in California where it's like having Spanish is actually like a plus. Like he could get hit in school for speaking in Spanish, and so my parents just they never taught us because they thought it would be like they thought it would hurt us. That's like the definition of irony. But uh, excuse me. So did your are your parents? Because I believe that people from Puerto Rico are more Catholic.
yeah,
Is
absolutely.
is that your? Do you have any thoughts on that about a God or spirit, whatever's out there, maybe in the universe? Do you have any thoughts?
I believe there's a God. I mean,
Hmm.
someone made us, right? Someone put us here. Someone shows us right from wrong all the time, and I feel like I got someone who's guiding me and helping me every
Hmm.
time. I feel like I got one there who I turn to. I feel
Yeah.
like I speak to God and Jesus a lot, and it's not because I need something. It's just because I talk. You know,
Wow. Wow.
there's not
Well,
say, hey, could you help me get this? Could you help me?
yeah.
I'm actually saying, hey, I hope you guys are proud of me. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do this. You know, give me the strength to continue to do your will and do the right to
But
help heal this world.
you need to explain that to this guy over here because he's an atheist and I'm a Christian. But we like to talk about things, kind of take the stigma off. I'm a Christian, he's an atheist, and we talk to people. And if we use comedy, if we talk about some other stuff like movies or music or food or whatever, it can kind of just take the stigma off of. Sometimes whenever you have conversations, they get a little bit heated or whatever. But anyway, thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. Just one last thing, I'm gonna give it over to Gray because he's probably dying over there to talk to you. But I could see it, and he's getting a little antsy back there. But
He's jigging. He's jigging.
yeah, so yeah, you can see him. But we actually just interviewed, and I would like to send you the podcast to that. These Scottish rappers who pretended to be someone else. They pretended to be from their California, and they went down to the UK, and they were able to con the whole music business. And um, they, yeah, they got to hang out with like Madonna and Eminem and all that stuff. But they got signed to Sony. But one of the things that the guy told us, which is amazing, that he actually dreamt about meeting his partner, his rapping partner, and it's like I think he said like his first show, like he dreamt about it and he saw like exactly the way that it was. So that's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. All right, great. I'm probably just gonna let you take this over. So go ahead.
Well, I think this takes us nicely into your diet, your training routine, and I think the main question from this will be, for your profession, do you have to be quite strict with it? Is it quite relaxed? And your day-to-day sort of fitness routine?
I kind of eat. I don't eat a lot, so I eat maybe twice a day, sometimes once. I work. I try to eat more recently because I'm trying to build up a little more, just to build a little more extra muscle. Because with all the wrestling, I got to take the bumps. I got to be more physical with stuff like that. So like, I have been getting a little bit bigger. Not enough to everyone go, damn, did Michael get swole? But just enough to I'm getting more cut up. I'm getting a little bit of a chest. My arms are starting to grow a
Yeah,
little bit.
seriously.
This is stuff I can hide because I'm always in a Michael jacket. So this is not something you'll be able to tell. Like, oh, is that Michael Jackson swole over there? Look at him. Like Arnold Jacksonator, I just made that one up. I might remember that Arnold
Right.
Jacksonator.
Oh, yeah. I like that. You can use that. That's good, man. That's good.
I'll make that a move, the Jacksonator.
Jacksonator, I like that. That's good.
But yeah, no, I do a lot of stuff. So I'm dancing a lot. I dance almost every day. I'm constantly rehearsing, practicing, trying to get better, trying to just improve in my craft. And when I go to Fremont still, I go out there to the strip to perform. So I use that as my practicing ground. So there I can learn what the crowd likes and know how to build this crowd up bigger, how to get the crowd to react better, what sets them off, what's their favorite move to see besides the moonwalk. That moonwalk and the spins. So like I said, I get a lot of practices out there. So I sweat my butt off out there. I bring like 5 t-shirts that I'll sweat through each t-shirt after so many songs. And then I'll switch on, keep on going and going. And literally that's basically my routine there is working, dancing on that. Then I go to the gym. I train with a couple of guys in the wrestling class. And so I'm taking bumps, I'm slammed on the floor, I slam people. I'm trying to create more iconic dance wrestling moves, I want to call them. So, the Papa King, the elbow drop into something else. And I got some more stuff. I do a hurricanrana now, monkey flips. Like I'm doing springboards. I'm springing off the rope for like a big old Jackson chop to the chest.
See, it sounds to me, Santana, that you don't really have to put a lot of effort into keeping yourself fit. I mean, you're dancing, which is, I mean, all of us have done it. Great fun. You're practicing your wrestling moves with your pals, and it sounds easy for you to keep in shape and keep yourself fit.
Oh man, like I said, I used to be a big kid growing up. So this doing all this stuff. I've always been active. So that's kind of how I lost the weight growing up. So I was like, I've always been doing something, whether it's bike riding, trailing, skateboarding, rollerblading, basketball, football, soccer, hockey, track. I'm a New York City's champion in track. I got first place trophy for that. I'm an artist. I draw, so I can draw like all types of cartoons, anime. So I got an award for that from school.
Good God. Is there anything you don't do, man? You're making me feel like a total unachieving.
So
stop, man, please.
I think we'll have to cut this feed, man.
The main reason I do all that is because I feel like, with us having this one life to live, I want to live it to the fullest. I don't want to have no regrets. I don't want to be like, I wish I tried this. I wish I tried that. I did try this. I did try that. I did everything I could possibly do. And I kind of lived my life the way I wanted to, happy and enjoyed and tried a lot of different things out. Like I've done boxing, I've done UFC, I've trained for that, I've done karate. I've trained, I did a bit of everything. Growing up, football, loved football. I was one of the guys who was always hitting everybody. So like I said, I mean, you can do anything you want to do. You just got to put your mind, your heart, and everything you got into it.
Wow. See, there's a lot of just changing the subject slightly. There's a lot of Michael Jackson's music that kind of went under the radar. So a lot of his early stuff, like Music and Me and Ben, songs like that.
I love Music and Me.
And for me, those songs like that, the early songs, especially Music and Me, I remember as a kid actually writing the words. I needed to know each word of that song until I memorized the whole song. Are there any of his earlier songs that they really get you in your soul? Maybe go under the radar a bit.
I mean, there's some that really I love to listen to, just listen to, and then there's some I love to like. The music just makes me want to dance. Dancing Machine is one of my favorite dancing, like one of the top songs I like. I love the music. I love the rhythm to it. I love how Michael's vocals in it and how he's getting down, bringing the robotic deals on. But like there's like Lady of My Life. I love that. I like that song. Lady of My Life is another slower one. That Smile. I love that one.
Oh, what a
Smile.
song! What a
So like
song!
Michael really sung that one, and you can feel everything he was singing in that one. I think that really Smile was one of the top for me. Man in the Mirror, of course. I love
Yeah,
the meaning. I love the meaning behind that. Human Nature
human.
is
That's a
another
good
one.
one.
So I
Beautiful
mean,
song.
he's done a lot. Gone Too Soon. I mean, I can keep going. There's just so many.
Oh, do you
He
remember
did.
The Time? That might be my personal favorite.
That's the
Actually,
one
I
I
do
do.
got to
I
tell you
think that
this.
one.
Yeah, with that one in black and white, I swear they did the most brilliant like advertising campaign for that. I'm not even sure if you're old enough to remember this, but like literally for weeks and weeks beforehand, they were showing you like little couple second clips, couple pictures, and then like black and white. I can tell you this, it was like such a big deal. My whole family, when they said it's coming out this time, like my whole family was sat down there and we were just like, especially the end part when they're morphing, we're like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, this is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. And then do you remember the time? It was like, wow, this guy is like, it's like he shattered
Eddie Murphy's in that, right? Eddie Murphy's
Eddie
in
Murphy
the
and Magic Johnson.
yeah. Yeah.
But he would like set this standard and then totally shatter it and then just take it to a completely different level. And then again, just
He was trying
stuff
to
that,
outdo himself. He was trying to
yeah,
outdo
it's like,
himself every time. Yeah.
this is
So it's like
why,
I did this, and I got to do something bigger. I did Billie Jean. Now let's do Thriller. Yeah.
yeah,
He
this is,
he did it with the outfit. I mean, that outfit he wore. Remember the Time? Wow,
Oh,
amazing.
that was an amazing outfit. That was
yeah.
the shield, the eagle shield was amazing. That was nice. I'm
And this
actually
is
trying to
why,
work on that outfit.
I'm sorry. This
No,
is
you're
why
good.
this is why I honestly say, I mean, I could probably say this with as clear a face as I possibly can. I do not think someone will ever be as talented as that guy. And maybe as weird too, but that guy just had talent on a different level of, it's like, okay, if
Go
normally,
back to how
okay,
he was raised. Go back to
what,
how he was raised.
yeah, but it's like, let's say we could start to compare like LeBron James and we could have this debate, talk about Kobe and then Jordan, and maybe they're like around the same level, but then just comes on like Michael Jackson, just so far out of the league of everyone else. It's like not even remotely fair to compare him to anyone else. But anyway, I do want to get back to you because I could probably talk about him for the next hour, but I do have a couple
Michael's
more
like the
questions.
president in the industry.
What was that?
I said Michael's like the president
Oh
in
yeah, it's
entertainment.
just a different. As I said, it's just a totally different level. Like, okay, so have you gotten any injuries or negative pushback for your characters? There's a little bit of controversy with him. So you had any physical injuries or people having a negative reaction?
I mean, I deal with when I first started out here, I deal with a lot of people, negative thoughts,
Uh-huh.
constantly talking back to me.
Hmm.
They're snatching kids and no, stay away from our kids and
Hmm.
stuff like that. Little still people come up talking smack.
Hmm.
I be performing, so
Hmm.
yada yada yada. Literally, it was sometimes I couldn't control my my attitude. I kind of got a little snappy, and
Hmm.
I approach these people and I kind of tell them in a very nice smiley face, you beat
You beat it.
it.
It's like trying to make a living.
I'm like, dude, do you know anything about Michael? Like, honestly, don't go here running your mouth from little things you hear on TV unless you actually know what you know.
Right.
Don't try to mess with everyone else with what I'm doing.
And you're just trying to
Um,
feed your family. So I don't really get why.
I got two kids. I'm trying to make sure they get what they need, and
Right.
they they're in Florida, so my money, gets sent to them so that they're fine, and I go back and forth to visit and harass my kids and do stuff
Hmm.
with them. A lot of video chatting like we're doing now. My
Right.
youngest calls me constantly. Daddy, 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 I got Fortnite. I'm like, all right.
Hmm.
Not really. I mean, I've rolled my ankle, sprained the ankle before, but as in wrestling, yeah, there's been more injuries in my wrestling career. I mean, my first match was almost my last match.
Wow.
Um, it was a big match. I took a suplex that I wasn't really comfortable with taking,
Hmm.
and it almost kind of folded me in half a little bit.
Oh my gosh,
But
that sounds horrible.
yeah, and that took me out for a little while. I was a little out of commission for at least 2 months. Um, then I kind of jammed my shoulder before, so that took me out for another 3 or 6 weeks. Um, it's injuries for sure. Wrestling is not like
Oh, I know.
fake, like everyone thinks. They're like, oh, it's fake. I'm like, they just go
No,
there and
no,
then
no,
we slap each other, we hit each other for real. We just
no.
safe where we hitting each other, you know.
Yeah. Well, you got to understand. Well, a couple of things that well, even if it is choreographed, like that takes skill. And it's gonna hurt you if you do a suplex on someone or you get body slammed. It doesn't matter if you're timing it or whatever. It's like this stuff is gonna naturally hurt, and especially if you don't do it precisely. I mean, this is why I said I have so much respect and actually just so much love for the wrestlers. But a lot of people don't talk about this. They actually get so many injuries. A lot of those guys get like addicted to medication, and
Yeah.
there's actually a great documentary called The Resurrection of Jake the Snake, and it shows about the downward spiral of drugs. And so these guys put themselves out on the line. A lot of them get hurt, and it's not a very um, safe thing. And that's just a reality. You're putting yourself out there, and um, to me, it's like I just have a lot of respect for people who go out there and will do that for entertain people. So
I appreciate you mentioning Jake. That's actually my mentor. That's one who taught me. That was
Jake the
my
Snake,
trainer. Yeah.
you kidding me?
Yeah, that's one of our trainers. So was D'Lo Brown and Disco Inferno.
D'Lo, I'm seeing Gangrel here. I'm looking at your Instagram. Is that
Yeah,
that
yeah,
really
yeah.
Gangrel?
Yeah, that's
I
him.
know all these
He was
guys. I
doing
mean, obviously, but
yeah,
you
no,
want to
no,
know what's fun? You want to know
they
what's
know me too, so that's what's funny.
okay? Yeah, you want to know what's funny is that so in these talks, I will sometimes mention that I like to watch wrestling, and people will start, oh, this guy watches wrestling. No wonder why he believes in Jesus or things like that, you know. But it's like, come on, dude. Like, you think whenever you're watching like The Rock, like on Fantastic or not, The Fast and the Furious, like you think he's really flying that car off of a bit, like in Dubai. Okay, you go and watch Fast and the Furious. I don't know. I think part 5 or 7. They literally fly the car across the bill. Like, there's no human being in the universe who could survive that. You know, and you watch it and like you eat it up. Like these guys are actually there and not using stuntmen. So it's yeah, a lot of respect there. So
Yeah.
The double-barreled one here for you. Firstly, can you impersonate anybody else? And also, when all this wrestling's over, what's next for Santana?
An impersonation. I've I had to Elvis before.
Good one.
So I had to be
oh
Elvis
god.
for a Bud Light commercial. There was like 50 Elvises, and I was one of the Elvises there. They wanted like all these different types of Elvis. Had midget Elvis, girl Elvis, fat Elvis, short Elvis, tall
I
Elvis.
suppose that would have been better on your voice, right? Because your voice seems like it would suit Elvis a lot
No,
better.
I mean, I just woke up, so you're hearing the deep voice. You're hearing the frog right now. Normally, I'm like, hey, thank you guys, I love you, yeah, you know. But Elvis was easy. Like, how you doing? Thank you very much. I love voices, so I do a lot of voice stuff. I'm always trying to work on different voices. So Elvis is one I've done. I've done a Green Ranger for kids, so full Green Ranger outfit. Um, really, those are the only characters I really do. I
You
stick to
know,
Michael.
you know it's going to be a lot faster if you tell us the things that you can't do rather than telling us things you can't do. That'll streamline. That'll save us like 30 minutes, bro. Is there
I haven't
anything
done
you cannot
skiing.
do?
Haven't done skiing yet.
Hey, I just did
He
skiing.
hasn't found it yet. He's still
I
looking.
haven't been there yet. I haven't found a spot to go skiing yet.
I just did skiing and surfing for the first time this year. I do some camps here for like lower income children, And
I suck at surfing, so there you go.
the the um the 2018 Winter Olympics was hosted in South Korea, and so we went down to that site, and I did skiing. It was a lot of fun, but I fell a lot. So
You know, when whenever this wrestling does finish, it sounds like you've got a lot of time doing this, which is fantastic because you enjoy yourself and you're getting paid well. What's next? What's after the wrestling? What's after the wrestling?
Hopefully opening my own entertainment company. I mean, with everything I've learned being in the entertainment business, I feel like I would be able to run my own company and know how to run it the right way because I was an entertainer. I know what we want. I know how to take care of the entertainer. They're working their butt off to make you smile, make you go hee hee. Ow!
Good man, good man.
But I
Great.
do have a surprise. I do want to show you guys something.
yeah, please.
Oh yeah.
I had set it up.
Wow.
Here we are. Here we. Oh
Is
my
that
God! Look, this is he
is
wore
that
this. He
Thriller?
wore.
Is that Thriller?
No,
This
this
is
is the
it.
last.
This
This is the
is it.
last shirt Michael wore.
Oh,
This is
okay.
it.
Oh my God! Yeah, look. I remember this. He was in London, and the cameras were going, and he was. Yeah. Look at this.
Actual Michael.
Wow.
Wow. How does it make you feel when you feel that when you hold it?
Put it on.
When you wear it, how does it make you feel when you wear that, knowing that Michael wore it?
It fits me like a glove. Like I can't even explain it. It's just to think that I'm holding that this is the third war before we lost him.
Hmm.
But I get to look at this every day. This is my motivation to keep me going. I mean, that's a lot of Michaels out there. I'm sure they have his microphone. They got his hat.
Hmm.
They got they probably got his glove.
Hmm. Mm. Why do you think that he has resonated so strongly with are those belts?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
belts, man.
Oh
Wow,
wow.
look.
Can you get a close up? Oh wow. The gold there.
It's true.
I'm a big wrestling fan. I don't think I explained that much to you.
Oh,
Like,
I absolutely love it. But so what do you think? Okay, so what do you think is the reason why his music specifically has resonated with, like, I would literally say billions of people um around the world. I mean, there's just really nothing like it. So like, how would you describe that?
I don't know, it's just his music's kind of meant for everybody. It's just not like
Hmm.
it's not on one genre, like Spanish music, obviously it's
Hmm.
Spanish music. Everyone still could dance to it. The hip hop's for a different type. People listen to hip hop. Michael's music is kind of like everyone.
Yeah,
Even people that
everyone.
listen to hip hop, everyone listens to reggae or listens to reggaeton or listens to, R&B or singing. They all listen to Michael. Every one of
Hmm.
them did. Because it was his music, the beat, the way it was like almost
Hmm.
from the future type of stuff. Like
Yeah.
it was like something you didn't know you would hear, and then you get into it. It's just not the feeling that music really gave you. And then what he was singing behind it, his voice was amazing, man. It's such an amazing voice. Throw his vocals up, down, and all around.
Oh, and there's a Power Ranger thing. Can you explain that?
So yeah, I'll show you my gear. So I've met Hoovy 2 Guerrero. That's his mask up there. I got to
Hmm.
hang out with him, be his manager. This is signed by Michael Bush. That's actually Michael Jackson's clothing designer.
Wow, no way.
Yeah,
Wow.
I got to hang out and meet him several times.
Wow.
A lot of these belts I've collected since, forever.
Who's the most famous person you've met?
I met Hulk Hogan. I got his autograph
Wow.
right here.
Wow.
Hey, Hogan.
I got him to sign that belt for me. I got the
Wow.
Green Ranger outfit here because I got to meet the Green Ranger.
No way.
Let's meet him there. I got to meet Mr. Santino Morella.
Oh, that guy was bad. That Santino got the fastest ever elimination in the Royal Rumble, and he tried to
Yep.
say that he wasn't ready. He tried to get back in, and he said, "I wasn't
That's
ready."
him.
That's the
That's
stupidest
him.
excuse I've ever heard in my life, man.
Hey, such a character, man. He's such a character. That's
Yeah,
basically what he is.
I miss the snake thing you used to do. But um, I know you're not the actual character, but like what life lessons do you think that we could take from Michael Jackson? Because there's an expression that's like being not being comfortable in your own skin. And for me, like I'm Mexican, and I used to hate being Mexican growing up because the Mexican kids, the genuine like Mexican kids, you could speak Spanish at school. They call me like a coconut or pocho. I'm not sure if you know that word. It's like a white brown dude. But so there was that. So I grew up with a bit of. In fact, I just released my second book, and it deals a lot with that topic. And they're like identity issues, and then going to South Korea, and just trying to fit in here. But this idea that just not being able to fully accept yourself and needing to do escapism or modifying yourself in whatever way, it might be, even like modifying your mind with drugs or alcohol or anything like that. So, like, what lessons do you think we could take from his life, and like, what advice would you give to people who maybe are kind of like in an area of confusion? I know it's a lot there, but what are your thoughts?
Say it one more. Oh, man, Jay,
Yeah.
go one more.
So, despite all the success, I mean, he clearly was not comfortable with himself, with the plastic surgeries, with the
Yeah.
with the drug addiction that ultimately took his life before he could really even do this last tour. I mean, the last "This Is It" tour. What was that?
I said I got my theories on that. I don't want to say he took his own life. I feel like someone took it from him.
Yeah, that's definitely possible. But the idea, though, either way, though, is that he had to use a lot of drugs to get through his life, and so just the idea of just not being totally comfortable with yourself, because I think it's a sad story. Either way, even if you don't like him at all, you got to just take a pause and say, as a human being, like, this is a sad story. It's a really sad story. And one of the reasons why we talk about addiction and depression and uh, substance abuse and bullying on this podcast is because we want to give like a voice to people who are out there struggling. And so we want to talk about things because I think whenever you don't get to talk about things, it's not healthy. And so if you can talk about things, you can, seek help. I had to seek help. I had to get counseling, but just, I don't know. Give me your thoughts on that.
I mean, I used to not feel good with myself in my own skin. I didn't care too much about myself. I felt like I was ugly. I wasn't worthy. I'm not. I mean, I still feel like that sometimes. I'm not good enough. I'm worthy. I ain't worthy enough. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve. What? That's. Uh, I'm trying to work that over myself. I got kind of have problems with that, fighting with that. Trying to see past all this crazy stuff that I feel with myself because I feel like it's.
I think that's a normal. I think most people do, and especially when we're younger. Michael didn't have that chance to grow normally, and I think that to a point, even us adults, we still struggle, and it's part of growth, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like it takes everything, and we just have to find our way, basically find ourselves and work our way through our problems. Like I may have my issues with myself, but I look past it because I am able to make other people happy.
Right.
Look what you do. Look what you make people feel. And don't put yourself down so much because there's so much more potential than you probably know than you see yourself. Because you're gonna be your worst critic. You're gonna judge yourself first. You're gonna be no. And you might see stuff on TV. Oh, I should look like this. I should be like this. I should be like that person.
Social media.
Yeah, like you get all this stuff that messes your head up, makes you think this is the real life stuff of how we need to look like and how we need to live and how we need to be. Not really. So I mean, you can be how you want to be. You can live how you want to live. Just live good and live a decent life. Treat people the right way. Treat them how you want to be treated. And keep that good foot forward. Try not to do no evil. I like to say.
Wow. Great message.
Yeah.
Great message.
Great. You got any last thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as you know, not a major wrestling fan, but massive Michael Jackson fan. So it's been an absolute honor to meet you. And also, I want to thank you because, Michael Jackson, as we know, our podcast, as Diesel alluded to, is, it's about respect, empathy, humility. And as we know, Michael's life was about the same thing. It was about love, and not only was he an ambassador for all of these things, he was also an ambassador for sustainability. The Earth Song, Heal the World.
Yeah.
What a human being! So, I mean, you're spreading that love. You're continuing his message. And I want to thank you for that, and really, really thanks for coming on the show today and meeting and letting us meet you, because it's been great.
Thank you guys for having me.
You got any last thoughts, Santana?
I have any my last thoughts?
Yeah.
Really, my last thing I like to say to anybody and everybody, really don't ever quit on yourself. Don't ever stop. Really
Keep putting chills on me.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize for that.
All I want to say is you could do anything you want to do. Like, I came from being in the street on Fremont Street, homeless for a year. Didn't have a dollar, didn't have a friend, didn't have anyone I knew out here. I didn't ask family for any help. I did it on my own to prove that I can do anything, as long as I put my heart, my mind, and soul into it. And this goes out to anybody. As long as you work hard, you get better at your craft. You who don't care about what this next person's doing or how they're better than what you're doing. Just keep working on what you're doing. Keep bettering yourself. Better, and the better you get, the more potential you're going to see in yourself. The better you're going to feel about yourself because you're doing stuff that you want to do, the right thing. I'm just saying, live your life. Live it to the fullest. Be a good person. Treat people the right way, and always push for your dreams. Never quit. Never surrender. Don't give up.
No retreat, no surrender. You probably saw that one growing up, but I think it was like Van Damme's first movie. But so real quick, I love the best one. I think the best one that you said was "Do No Evil." That's going to be the one that's going to stick with me. That is going to stick with me in the weeks and months to follow. I'm going to be digesting that one because there's a lot to think about there. But real quick, can you tell us how we can find you on social media?
You can find me Santana Jackson on my Instagram is Santana.Jackson7. My Twitter, SJ Moonwalk DDT. My Facebook, Santana Jackson. So yeah, you'll find me a little bit everywhere. You just look up the Santana Jackson name or YouTube me, Moonwalk DDT. You see all the wrestling content.
Yeah.
And
it's very entertaining, especially the one where you do the thriller thing. That's stinking hilarious. But
my face too when I'm a real boy. No.
Yeah. Last thing, you like Starbucks? We usually send out Starbucks cards. Things
cool.
kind of like back to normal in Vegas.
Somewhat, yeah. Like somewhat. It's been busier than it has been. I mean, since everything's starting to reopen and get busier again.
I gotta say this. My cousin graduated with his master's, and I took him out of Vegas for a weekend, and we took the stratosphere to the top. And the most amazing thing whenever you see Vegas is because there's this amazing strip, but then outside of that, there's practically nothing. And unfortunately, sometimes our lives can be like that. Like there's a glitter and the gold or whatever it is that we're trying to pursue, and yet if we don't have like a whole and well balanced, perspective and other things in our lives, we can really lose sight of ourselves, and that is one of the most unfortunate things about, I think, that we can learn from the lesson of Michael Jackson. But probably the most, as I said, probably the most talented person I've ever seen. Hearing your story is absolutely amazing. You said some stuff that I normally get the heebie-jeebies like twice an episode, but you give it to me like 4 times. So I really appreciate that. I think your story about being homeless there and keep on going forward is unbelievable. Really thank you for your time. I mean, it's going to take a little while to process this one, especially because it's such a deep character. It's affected so many people. But really thank you for your time. That being said, be sure to, if you're not subscribed, be sure to do so. Check us out at www.rhpodcast.com. Email us at rhpodcast@gmail.com or at www.rhpodcast.com. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, we're everywhere, anywhere you can find us. And yeah, leave us a comment. Tell us what you thought about this episode. This guy is amazing. And thank you, and we look forward to seeing you back again.